Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a book that can completely change your life. A book that doesn't just talk about success, it shows you how to create it. A book that teaches you how to focus so deeply that you'll produce the best work of your life. That book is Deep Work by Cal Newport, professor, writer, and productivity expert. But let me warn you, this is not just a book. This is a mirror. It will show you the painful truth, how distracted you really are, how much time you waste, how much energy leaks away every day without you even noticing. But it will also show you something powerful, the life you could have if you learned how to focus deeply. Think about your mornings. You wake up with big dreams. Today I'll study hard. Today I'll learn English. Today I'll start that business. But what happens? You check your phone, you scroll, you reply to messages, you open 10 tabs, and by the end of the day, you're tired, but nothing meaningful got done. You've been busy, but not productive, distracted, not focused, and slowly, this kills your confidence. The worst part? You think this is normal, but it's not. There is another way, a better way, a way called deep work. So what is deep work really about? It's simple and life-changing. Deep work means working with full focus. No distractions, no multitasking, no noise. Just you, your task, and your full mental power. When you do deep work, your brain enters a higher state. You think faster. You learn deeper, you remember longer, you create better, and in a world where almost everyone is distracted, the person who can focus doesn't just win, they dominate. Cal Newport calls deep work a superpower, and he's right. Look around. People are busy, but not moving forward. They scroll for hours, start many things, but finish nothing, live in shallow work. But those who master deep work, they rise above the noise. They learn English faster. They build businesses faster. They create work so valuable it can't be ignored. And here's the best part. You don't need talent, money, or luck. You just need one thing, focus. And this book teaches you exactly how to build it. Imagine two people. One studies English for an hour, but keeps checking their phone every 5 minutes. The other studies for just 30 minutes, fully focused, no distractions. Who grows faster? Always the second person. That's the magic of deep work. It's not about time, it's about focus. Newport says, deep work is the skill that will separate winners from losers in the future. And that's exactly what this video will help you understand. Chapter 1. Deep work is valuable. Imagine this. You walk into a room. In that room, everyone is busy, typing fast, switching tabs, checking phones, running in stress. But in the corner, there's one person, calm, focused, creating something powerful, not checking the clock, not chasing attention, just building something amazing with deep, quiet focus. That person is not just working. That person is doing deep work, and that person is becoming more valuable than everyone else in the room. So what does this chapter really teach us? It teaches us one simple truth. In today's world, the ability to focus deeply is the most valuable skill you can have. Not money, not talent, not connections, but the power to focus without distraction on something hard and meaningful. That one ability can change your entire life. We live in a time where machines are replacing jobs, AI is doing things faster, social media is killing attention. Everyone is busy, but doing nothing deep. So now the people who will survive and thrive are not the ones with the most followers. Not the ones who reply fast to emails, but the ones who can sit down, go deep, and create value. And here's the truth this chapter screams. If you can't focus, you can't compete. Why deep work equals value? Let's break it down into 3 simple truths from this chapter. 1. The economy rewards deep work, not busy work. Think about it. Who earns more? Someone who answers 100 emails a day or someone who builds a useful app that thousands of people use? Who gets more respect? Someone who attends 5 meetings or someone who writes a book, solves a hard problem, or designs something brilliant? The answer is always the one who does deep, focused, high-quality work. People pay for value, and value comes from focus. 2. Learning hard things equals the most important skill now. In this chapter, it's made clear, if you can learn hard things fast, you win. Want to master English, learn coding, become a digital creator, start a YouTube channel, grow a business? Then you must focus deeply while learning, because shallow focus leads to shallow results. But deep focus equals mastery, and mastery is what the world pays for. 3. Creating things that change the world requires deep work. Nothing great was built in distraction. Not the iPhone, not great music, not world-changing businesses, not powerful books, not your dream life. Great things come from long hours of silence, concentration, and obsession. This chapter makes one message very loud. If your mind is always busy, you'll never create something meaningful. To change the world, or even just your own life, you need to work deeply. Let's say there are 2 people. Person A spends 4 hours a day checking messages, scrolling reels, replying to comments, attending meetings. Person B spends just 2 hours a day locked in a room, phone off, mind fully focused, learning, building, thinking. Who becomes successful in 6 months? Not the one who was busy, the one who was deep. This chapter explains that clearly the world is full of busy people, but success follows the ones who do the real work, the hard, deep work no one else wants to do. The problem isn't that you're not talented. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that your brain has been trained to jump again and again from app to app, from tab to tab, from idea to idea. This chapter says you have gold inside you, but you can only find it if you dig deep, not with a spoon, with focus, silence, and time. Deep work is not just about work. It's about respecting your time, energy, and brain. When you do that, you become valuable, not just in your job, but in your entire life. You want more money? Focus deeply. You want to speak English fluently? Focus deeply. You want to change your life? Focus deeply. Everything you want is hidden behind your distractions. If you learn to cut the noise, if you learn to go deep, you will create something valuable. You will become someone valuable. And that's what this chapter teaches in the most powerful way. Chapter 2. Deep work is rare. Let's begin with a hard truth. We live in a world that rewards noise. People who respond fast get praised. People who post daily get likes. People who are constantly available get attention. But here's the painful secret. We are surrounded by shallow people. People who are always online but mentally nowhere. People who are always talking but rarely thinking. People who are always working but creating nothing meaningful. This chapter exposes a deep crisis in our modern world. It doesn't shout. It whispers a warning. Real focus is disappearing, and very few people even notice. In this chapter, we're told one undeniable truth. The ability to focus deeply is dying. But why? Why is something so powerful becoming so rare? Let's break it down into real reasons from this chapter, explained in the most relatable way possible. Most jobs today are built on shallow behavior. Look around. People are rewarded for responding to emails quickly, for attending lots of meetings, always being online and available, multitasking on 5 things at once. This creates a false image of productivity. But here's the reality. Being busy is not the same as being valuable. Being loud is not the same as being smart. Being online is not the same as being successful. In many workplaces, people pretend to work while doing nothing that really matters. And slowly, without realizing it, they forget how to focus. They become addicted to distraction. Open offices and endless notifications are destroying silence. Let's talk about your environment. In modern offices, homes, schools, people sit together in open rooms with noise all around. Phones beep every 2 minutes, messages pop up all day, people talk around you, interrupting your flow. The result? Your brain never gets a chance to go deep. You're always reacting, never creating. You feel tired, but achieve nothing meaningful. This chapter makes it clear. In a noisy world, silence has become rare, and people who protect their silence are rare too. Social media is stealing attention and selling it. Here's a truth that hurts. You are not the customer on social media. You are the product. Every time you check that app, you lose a little bit of your focus. Your brain becomes more restless. You train yourself to avoid boredom, and slowly you become someone who can't read a full page, can't sit alone in silence, can't focus for more than 10 minutes. That's the tragedy, and this chapter tells you straight. If you don't control your attention, someone else will use it for their profit. That's why real focus is disappearing, because distraction is designed to win. People are proud of being always busy. Let's be honest. Have you ever said, "I'm just so busy, I don't even have time to think. There's too much going on"? Sounds normal, right? But guess what? That's not strength. That's not success. That's weakness disguised as hard work. Real greatness comes from doing less, but doing it deeply. But sadly, the modern world has taught people to look important by looking exhausted, say yes to everything, fill every hour with meetings, replies, check-ins. This chapter breaks that illusion. Being busy doesn't mean you're going anywhere. It's like running on a treadmill, fast but stuck. We're losing the ability to go deep because the world doesn't demand it anymore. Most people don't even know how to sit alone with a thought. And because deep work is no longer required, people stop developing it. But that's not the end of the story, because here's the most powerful truth. What is rare becomes valuable, and what is valuable becomes powerful. If you can learn deep focus, you rise above the rest. Let's say 100 people apply for the same job. All are smart. All went to good schools. All are good at multitasking. But one person has a secret power. They can focus for 3 hours straight. They can finish hard tasks faster. They don't check their phone every 5 minutes. They produce high-quality work without being told twice. Who gets the job? Who becomes irreplaceable? The one who works deeply. Because in a world full of distracted people, focus becomes a superpower. If you're watching this right now and you feel like your mind is always jumping, if you feel like you can't sit still, if you feel like your attention is broken, it's not your fault. The world is designed this way. But this chapter gives you a choice. Either follow the crowd and stay shallow, or become rare and rise. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be fast. You just need to protect your attention like it's your life, because it is. This chapter is not a warning. It's an opportunity. Yes, deep work is rare, but that means if you build it, you become special, and the world will notice. The world will reward you, not with just money, but with peace, respect, and freedom. Chapter 3. Deep work is meaningful. Let's begin with a truth you can feel. There's a strange emptiness inside people today. They wake up, check their phone, do a little work, laugh at some videos, scroll. Then they sleep, and somehow it feels like nothing real happened. They were busy, but not alive. And that's where this chapter begins. It doesn't ask you to work harder. It asks you to ask yourself, is what I'm doing truly meaningful? This chapter is not about success. It's not about money. It's about something much deeper, something we've all lost. Today's world is full of noise, pressure, fake smiles, endless tasks, temporary pleasures, superficial rewards, but very little of that actually makes people feel proud inside. This chapter tells you what you already know in your heart. Most people don't feel connected to their work anymore. They don't feel proud of their days. They don't feel like they're doing something real. And that's why so many feel empty, anxious, tired, even when they have everything. The message that changes everything. When you go deep, you create meaning. When you give full attention to something difficult and real, you begin to feel like you matter again. This chapter explains that deep focus is not just a skill. It's a way to reconnect with your purpose. You feel more human, more alive, more peaceful, because finally you're doing something that actually matters. 3 life-changing ideas from this chapter. 1. Depth gives you pride in your work. Let's say you write something quickly, carelessly while checking your phone. You might finish it, but deep down, you won't feel proud. Now imagine you sit down, phone off, silence around. You write with full focus, full heart, full power. When you finish, you smile, not because others liked it, but because you know it came from the best version of you. That feeling, that inner pride, only comes when you go deep. 2. Deep work connects you to something bigger than yourself. There's something spiritual about it. When you fully focus on a task, you forget your worries. You lose track of time. You become completely present. This is not just work. This is a form of meditation, a connection between you and something higher, whether it's art, writing, coding, learning English, solving a hard problem. When you're fully inside the moment, you feel connected to something pure, quiet, and eternal. That is meaning, and that's what shallow work can never give you. 3. Real joy comes from mastering something difficult. Think about the happiest moments in your life. Not the quick laugh from a meme, not the thrill of a new notification, but that moment when you finally finished something big. You gave your full energy to something hard. You pushed through discomfort and you succeeded. That joy, that deep, powerful joy comes from going all in, from using your full mental energy to do something difficult and important. This chapter explains something beautiful. You don't need to be famous to feel fulfilled. You don't need to be rich to feel meaningful. You just need to give your mind fully to something that matters. Let's talk about 2 people. Person 1. They work all day, but it's scattered. Phone rings, messages distract. They're half in, half out. By the end of the day, they feel tired and unfulfilled. Person 2. They work less, but with deep focus. They sit with intention. They give their best effort to one thing. When they finish, they feel joy, peace, and confidence. They might not get more likes, but they go to sleep smiling. That's the power of meaning. This chapter changes your entire mindset. It tells you you've been chasing more speed, more likes, more money, but what you really needed was depth. Depth in your actions, depth in your mind, depth in your life. And once you taste it, you'll never want to go back to the shallow world. If your life feels too fast, slow down. If your days feel empty, go deeper. If you feel like you're drifting, find something hard and give it your full attention, because in that focus, you'll find peace, you'll find confidence, you'll find joy, you'll find you. Deep work is not just a productivity tool. It's not about working like a machine. It's about living like a human being with purpose, with pride, with presence. You don't need a new app. You don't need more goals. You don't need outside motivation. You just need one thing: to protect your attention and give it to what matters. That's where meaning begins. And once you discover that, your life will never be the same again. Part 2. The rules: how to do deep work in real life. Rule 1. Work deeply. Let's begin with a shocking truth. Most people today never truly focus. They wake up, grab their phone, get distracted before they even brush their teeth. Then they go through the day answering messages, jumping from one thing to another, always busy but never present. They think they're working, but they're not. They're just reacting, scrolling, rushing, repeating. They never stop, but they never go deep. That's why their work feels empty. That's why their progress is slow. That's why they feel tired, but stuck. And that's what this rule is here to destroy. It teaches you how to build a life of real focus, not just for 10 minutes, not just once a week, but as a daily way of life. This rule gives you the truth that changes everything. You don't fall into focus by accident. You build it on purpose. The problem most people have: here's what most people do. They say they'll focus when they get time. They try to work, but keep their phone next to them. They answer every notification immediately. They work in noisy environments. They let anyone interrupt them anytime, and then they wonder why they can't finish anything, why they feel unmotivated, why their dreams are taking forever. This rule gives you the real reason. Focus isn't weak. Your environment is broken. Your mind isn't lazy. Your habits are undisciplined. You're not behind. You're just too available to the world. So what's the solution? This rule gives you a simple but powerful answer. You must design your life to support deep work, not wish for it. Design it, build it, defend it. And here's how you do it. 5 powerful strategies to work deeply. 1. Create your deep work time and protect it like gold. Don't leave focus to chance. Choose a specific time in your day where you only do important work. No phone, no internet, no noise, no people walking in. Just you and the task. Example: from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., block 2 hours every day for your most important goal. Studying, writing, creating, building something real. This time is sacred. Nothing else should be allowed. If you don't protect your time, the world will take it from you. 2. Use rituals to train your brain. Don't wait for motivation. Create a routine so your brain knows it's time to go deep. Simple steps. Start work in the same place every day. Use the same notebook or app. Maybe light a candle, play soft music, or sit in a quiet corner. Do it at the same time, even on weekends. These small rituals tell your brain, now we focus, and your brain will obey. 3. Don't just eliminate distractions. Build a fortress. This chapter doesn't just tell you to turn off your phone. It tells you to build a wall between you and your distractions. Put your phone in another room. Block websites with an app. Turn off notifications on everything. Tell family or roommates, please don't disturb me between X and Y. Your focus is not weak. Your access to distraction is too easy. You must make it hard to be interrupted. 4. Schedule every hour, even free time. One of the most surprising truths in this rule is this: the more you plan your time, the more freedom you feel. People think structure is boring, but chaos is more stressful. Try this. Plan your day in blocks, like a calendar. 1 hour deep work, 30 minutes lunch, 1 hour walk, hours reading. Even schedule rest, fun, sleep. Why? Because then your mind knows what to expect. You stop wasting time thinking, what should I do now? You take control of your energy. 5. Be patient. Focus is a muscle. You won't become a deep worker in one day. Your brain is used to jumping, it's used to noise. So you need to train it slowly. Start with 20 minutes of full focus, then grow it to 45, then 90, then 2 hours like lifting weights. Go slowly but consistently. And every time your mind wanders, gently bring it back. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Here's something this chapter reveals, but most people never say. Distraction is not just a bad habit. It's a lifestyle. If you keep letting distractions in, you will become a shallow thinker. You will forget how to focus. You will depend on noise to feel alive. You will stay stuck in average results. But if you change that pattern, even a little, you will unlock the best version of your mind. You will enter a state of deep creativity, peace, and power. You will become someone others look up to, because deep focus is not normal anymore, and that's exactly why it makes you stand out. Let's say you want to learn English. Option A, you try to study, but your phone is near you. Messages keep popping up. You switch between videos. You feel tired. After 1 hour, you've learned almost nothing. Option B, you sit down alone. Phone is far away. You turn on one clear lesson. You listen deeply. You repeat out loud. You write down notes with full attention. 1 hour later, you feel progress. You feel proud. This is not just about study. This is about respecting your dream. This rule is not telling you to work like a machine. It's telling you to live like a creator, someone who doesn't waste their life in endless noise, someone who creates meaning, value, and power through attention. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you need to start today, because deep work doesn't happen by luck. It happens by design. If you don't design your focus, someone else will design your distractions. Let's repeat the real truth this rule gives you. Focus is not automatic. It's something you train. You don't need more time. You need better attention. You don't need more apps. You need fewer interruptions. You don't need to do more. You need to go deeper. That's the path to greatness. And that's what Rule 1 teaches you. Rule 2. Embrace boredom. Let's begin with a question. Can you sit alone for 10 minutes and do absolutely nothing? No music, no phone, no talking, no scrolling, just you and your thoughts? If that sounds uncomfortable, then this chapter is exactly what you need, because here's the hidden truth it exposes. You don't have a focus problem, you have a boredom problem. It's not about becoming boring. It's not about removing fun from your life. This rule teaches you something much deeper. If you can't handle boredom, you will never be able to handle deep focus. Why? Because deep work requires silence. It requires slow thinking. It requires long periods without entertainment. And if your brain is addicted to instant stimulation, then even when you try to focus, your mind will run away looking for excitement. Today's world has trained your brain like this. You wait in line for 30 seconds. You open your phone, you feel slightly uncomfortable. You watch a short video. You sit alone in a room, you put on music or scroll. You finish one task. You instantly switch to something else. This pattern creates a deep addiction inside your brain, an addiction to input, to noise, to constant stimulation. And the side effect is this: your brain loses the ability to sit still. It forgets how to go deep. It becomes restless, weak, and tired, even when you're doing nothing hard. The real truth this rule gives you: if you want to develop unshakable focus, you must train your brain to be okay with silence. You must rebuild your tolerance for boredom. That's the only way to train your mind to stay with one thing for long periods without quitting. This rule is not just about avoiding distraction. It's about becoming mentally stronger than distraction. What does embrace boredom really mean? Let's make it clear and simple. It means letting your mind wander without grabbing your phone, taking slow walks without listening to anything, sitting still and doing nothing for a few minutes, waiting without needing a screen, doing simple tasks without multitasking, practicing silence even when it feels uncomfortable. At first, it feels strange, empty, even painful, but slowly, your mind starts to change. You become calm. You start to think clearly. You begin to feel ideas forming. You get used to your own thoughts again. That's when the power returns. Most people will say, "But I hate being bored. I need music. I need stimulation." Exactly. That's the addiction. And the only way to break it is to face it and sit through it. This chapter teaches that discomfort is part of focus. Boredom is not your enemy. It's your training ground. If you always run from silence, you'll never build strength inside. Here's how to embrace boredom like a champion. Even if you're just starting, start with short moments of silence. Choose 5 minutes a day where you do absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, just sit. Let your thoughts come. Don't fight them, just observe. At first, your mind will resist. It will say, "This is boring." But this is the training. You are rebuilding your mental muscle. Delay the reward. If you feel the urge to check your phone, wait 10 minutes. If you want to open YouTube, delay it by 15 minutes. If you feel like escaping, pause and breathe. Every time you delay stimulation, you tell your brain, "I am in control now, not the noise." That's how self-mastery begins. Use boring moments as practice. Every day is full of small, boring moments. Waiting in line, sitting on a bus, walking from room to room, eating alone, doing dishes or chores. Instead of escaping with music or videos, use that time to be present, feel your breath, notice your thoughts, let ideas rise. That's how great minds are built, in small, quiet moments that most people waste. Try productive thinking walks. Go outside, leave your phone behind, pick one question, something you're struggling with, then just walk and let your mind explore. This is called productive meditation. You are not escaping boredom. You are using it to unlock deep thinking. And many of the best ideas in history were born in silence. Practice one-task living. Multitasking kills focus, so try doing one thing at a time fully. When you read, just read. When you eat, just eat. When you talk to someone, just talk. No phone in your hand. Living like this feels peaceful and powerful because you're telling the world, My attention is valuable, and I choose where to put it. This chapter reveals something painful but true. Most people don't even know who they are anymore because they're never alone with themselves. They are always connected, but never calm. They are always entertained, but never focused. They are always busy, but feel deeply empty. But when you embrace boredom, you return to your natural power. Your mind, your thoughts, your ability to go deep. You stop reacting and start creating. Let's say you want to write a book. You sit down, but after 10 minutes, you feel bored, so you check your phone, you reply to messages, you play a song, you scroll just for a second. That second becomes 30 minutes. Now you're tired, distracted, empty. You didn't write your book. You didn't move closer to your dream. You escaped boredom but lost your focus. Now imagine you embrace boredom. You sit in silence. You let the discomfort rise, but you don't run. After a few minutes, your thoughts start to settle. Your ideas come back. Your mind opens up and you begin to create. That's the magic. Boredom is not weakness. It's a door. And behind that door is your best self. If you want to build a powerful mind, a peaceful life, and meaningful success, you must stop running from boredom and walk straight into it. That's where the quiet power is. That's where your focus is waiting. That's where your deep work begins. Rule 3, quit social media. Let's begin with a hard question. How many times did you check your phone today? How many minutes did you spend scrolling without even knowing why? And when the day ended, did any of that actually make your life better? If you felt uncomfortable reading that, then this chapter is not here to punish you. It's here to free you because the world today has become addicted to distraction, and the biggest source of that distraction is in your hand right now. This rule gives you the courage to finally face the truth. If something is stealing your attention and giving you nothing valuable in return, you must let it go. This isn't about deleting every app. It's not about going into the mountains and living like a monk. It's about something deeper, taking back control of your attention. This rule doesn't say never use social media. It says use it like a professional. Use it with a clear purpose. Use it only if it makes your life better. Because if you don't make that decision, someone else will make it for you. Let's be honest. Most people check their phones first thing in the morning, open apps without thinking, get lost in endless reels, posts, tweets, stories, feel anxious, angry, insecure, and don't know why. Waste hours every week and call it normal. But here's the truth. This rule gives you. Social media is not free. You are paying for it with your time, your focus, your peace, and your potential. Social media platforms are built to make you stay longer. They use endless scroll, notifications, likes, shares, random rewards. These are not accidents. They are deliberate designs to capture your brain, and once your brain is trained to expect constant stimulation, you start to lose your ability to think, focus, and create. This rule opens your eyes to this reality. You're not using social media, it's using you. Here's the message, loud and clear. Don't keep apps just because others use them. Don't follow trends that make you feel worse. Don't give your mind to platforms that take more than they give. Instead, follow this principle. Be intentional. Use only what truly serves you, and that leads to a life of clarity, power, and peace. Let's now break this rule down into powerful, beginner-friendly steps so anyone can apply it and transform their life. Test the value of every platform. Take a moment and ask, does this app actually help me learn, grow, or succeed? Do I feel better after using it or worse? Would my life be better if I didn't use this for a month? If the answer is no, then you already know what to do. Keep only what adds real value. Let go of the rest, no matter how popular it is. This is not about trends. It's about your time, your energy, and your future. Delete the just-in-case apps. Most people say, I might need it later. What if something important happens? I only use it sometimes. But here's the truth. Just in case is the language of fear, and fear keeps you stuck. Try this challenge. Delete the apps that are not essential. Stay without them for 30 days. Watch what happens to your mind. You will think deeper, feel calmer, work better, sleep peacefully, learn faster, because your brain is no longer on a leash. Replace scrolling with real life. Every time you feel like scrolling, pause and ask, what am I actually looking for? Is it entertainment, connection, peace, a break? Then replace it with something real. Go for a walk, call someone you love, read a page of a book, write down one goal, sit with your thoughts. These small actions rebuild your focus and they return you to real life, not the fake world behind a screen. Use platforms with purpose or not at all. If you're a creator, a teacher, a business owner, maybe you need certain platforms. But even then, this rule says use it like a tool, not like a toy. Have clear rules. Post, then leave. Turn off notifications. Don't scroll endlessly. Set a time limit. Track your usage, because even one small rule can protect your peace in a big way. Reconnect with the real you. When you quit social media or limit it, you start to feel strange. But then something beautiful happens. You hear your own thoughts. You feel your real emotions. You remember your goals. You rediscover your dreams. You stop comparing yourself. You start living your own path. That is freedom, and that is the power of this rule. Let's say someone wants to become fluent in English, but every time they feel bored or tired, they open Instagram. They start watching videos for just 5 minutes. Suddenly, 40 minutes are gone. Now, they're too tired to study. They've learned nothing. They feel guilty. They feel behind. This happens every day, and they keep saying, I'm trying my best, but they're not. They're escaping. Now imagine they delete the app. They use that time to practice speaking, writing, reading. After a few weeks, they feel different, more confident, more disciplined, more focused. That's the power of this rule. It doesn't just free your time, it frees your future. The world is full of noise, but you get to choose what enters your mind. You don't have to follow everyone. You don't have to check everything. You don't have to stay connected all the time. What you really need is your own attention fully returned to you. So quit what distracts you. Say no to what steals your peace and use your time to build something real. Because at the end of your life, you won't remember the likes. You'll remember the work you did, the people you loved, and the peace you created inside your mind. Rule 4. Drain the shallows. Let's start with a mirror moment. Do you ever feel like your day is full, but your life is empty? That you worked all day but made no real progress? You answered messages? You attended meetings? You replied to comments? You were online for hours? But at the end of the day, you're not closer to your dreams. You're just tired, frustrated, and behind. This rule explains exactly why that happens and how to stop it forever. What this rule teaches you, most of your time is being eaten by shallow work, work that looks important but doesn't move your life forward, work that keeps you busy but leaves you unfulfilled, work that fills the day but empties your mind. This rule shows you how to identify what's shallow, Remove it ruthlessly. Make space for real, deep work. Finally, take control of your time and your life, because here's the painful truth. If you don't drain the shallow, it will drown your greatness. Let's make it clear. Shallow work is checking and replying to every message instantly, jumping between 10 small tasks, attending unnecessary meetings, doing things just to stay busy, multitasking all day, doing what looks urgent but isn't important. It's the kind of work that doesn't need deep focus, doesn't require creativity, doesn't lead to mastery, doesn't build your dream. And the worst part? You do it all day and feel like you've done nothing. Most people live like this. They start the day by checking their phone. They react to everything, emails, pings, calls. They jump from one small thing to another. They're always in motion but never in control, and the world claps for them. Wow, you're so responsive. You're always available. You're working so hard. But the truth is darker. They're trapped in shallow work, drowning in noise, building nothing, slowly forgetting their purpose. This rule is your rescue. Protect your time like it's your life, because it is. How to apply this rule? Step by step. Schedule every minute with intention. Don't live your day by accident. Plan it. From the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, give every hour a name. 8 a.m., 9 a.m., writing. 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., break. 9:30 a.m., 11 a.m., studying English. 11 a.m., 12 p.m., creative project. 12 p.m., 1 p.m., lunch, plus rest. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., light emails or messages. 2 p.m., 4 p.m., focus session. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., walk, reflection, break. Even schedule your rest and fun. Because when your time has a name, you stop letting shallow things steal it. Say no without feeling guilty. This rule teaches you something life-changing. Every time you say yes to something shallow, you are saying no to your deep goals. You can't do everything, so say no to random requests, unnecessary meetings, quick phone calls that turn into hours, tasks that don't matter, favors that drain your energy. Learn to say, I'm focused on something important right now. That's not rude. That's leadership. Track where your time goes. Want to feel shocked? Spend one day tracking everything you do. How long you check your phone, how much time you spend on messages, how many tasks are urgent but meaningless. Then look at the results. Most people realize they spend 4 to 5 hours on shallow things, less than 1 hour on real important work. This rule teaches you to face the truth and fix it. Give yourself fewer tasks, but higher standards. Stop trying to do 20 things badly. Choose 3 things and do them with full depth. This rule says, be a craftsman, not a factory. Craft your work like a builder, not a machine. If you're writing, write with emotion, clarity, and truth. Studying, study with full focus and no rush. Learning English, give it your heart, not your leftover energy. When you focus on fewer things, you go deeper, and deep is where the magic lives. Build a daily shutdown ritual. This is powerful. At the end of each day, have a clear routine that says, work is done, the day is complete. It can be reviewing what you achieved, planning tomorrow, writing a reflection, closing your laptop, saying a mantra. The shallow is done. The deep has been protected. This tells your brain, we worked deeply. Now we rest fully. And that balance creates peace. Let's go deep now. Most people die with dreams they never touched, skills they never mastered, books they never wrote, languages they never learned, art they never created, businesses they never built. Not because they didn't have time, but because they let the shallow win. And shallow work feels comfortable. It feels urgent. It feels easy, but it slowly kills your greatness. This rule gives you the chance to change that now. Example: Emma is a freelance graphic designer. Every day she feels exhausted. She wakes up early, works all day, goes to sleep late, but her income isn't growing. Her portfolio isn't improving. She feels stuck. Why? Because her days are filled with shallow work, replying to emails all day, fixing tiny changes for low-paying clients, attending unnecessary video calls, updating social media posts, checking comments, messages, notifications every 10 minutes, saying yes to every small task. She's busy, but not building anything great. What happens when she drains the shallows? One day, Emma changes everything. She decides to block 3 hours each morning for deep work only. No calls, no messages. Say no to small, unimportant projects. Check email only twice a day at 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. Remove apps that waste her time. Create a simple schedule with only 2 big goals per day. Now, instead of doing 10 tiny things, she spends focused time on designing a new personal project for her portfolio, learning advanced design skills, building better offers for high-value clients. After 3 months, she earns more money. She attracts better clients. She feels proud, not drained, and she finally starts growing again. Lesson: shallow work made her busy, deep work made her better, and all it took was one decision. Protect your time. Focus on what matters. Let go of what doesn't. That's what it means to drain the shallows. Your future is not decided by how much you do. It is decided by how deep you go with what matters. If your life feels cluttered, noisy, overwhelming, it's not because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing too much of the wrong things. And now you know how to stop it. You've just learned the 4 rules that can completely change your life. But here's the thing. Knowing these rules isn't enough. You must live them. If you only understand deep work, nothing will change. But if you apply it, everything will change. You'll stop wasting your days on noise and start building something meaningful. You'll think more clearly. You'll feel proud of your work. You'll become the kind of person others respect. And more importantly, the kind of person you respect. This book isn't about working harder. It's about working deeper. And that's your challenge starting today. No more shallow living. No more endless distractions. No more hiding behind, "I'm busy." From now on, protect your mind. Guard your time. Choose depth over noise. Because deep work is not just a method. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, and the path to your true potential. And you deserve to reach it. If this episode gave you clarity, focus, or inspiration, don't just close the video. Take action. Subscribe to this channel, share this message with someone who needs it, and most importantly, start your deep journey today.